Man, infinity pool. Man, Brandon Cronenberg is crazier than his dad. Oh! What up, guys? Bobo here with BrassReel Movie Reviews. And thanks for coming back for some more popcorns. Real quick, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and the like button. Well, this review is a week late just because I was super busy last week when I saw this, but Infinity Pool, directed by Brandon Cronenberg, David Cronenberg's son, starring Alexander Skarsgård, the lovely and magnificent Mia Goth, and Cleopatra Coleman. And there's some other stars in this movie as well, but those are the three people it really focuses on, and mainly focuses on Alexander Skarsgård and Mia Goth. First off, let me say, if you like David Cronenberg, you like his catalog of work, you understand his style of filmmaking, where he's coming from, then you're gonna love this movie, and you'll love Brandon Cronenberg. This is the second movie from Brandon Cronenberg I've seen and am aware of. The first one being Possessor, which was awesome, but whack. And I like Possessor, but I like this one a lot more. This one definitely has a lot of cool metaphors wrapped up into it. In fact, while I was watching it, I wrote down in my notes, it's like, man, they should have called this the metaphor pool. Because the movie is just one huge metaphor with a ton of other metaphors inside it. This movie's not gonna be for everybody. Let me just say that. This is not a blockbuster type film that you're gonna go brag and recommend to everyone. This is gonna be a movie you're only gonna recommend to certain people. Like my mom and my stepdad, I would never recommend this movie to them. Not because they like bad movies or anything, it's just that this is just not for them. It's a little bit of an acid trip mixed with reality, but it's super unnerving to watch and uncomfortable the whole time in a good way, which is what the Cronenbergs are best at. The whole plot is that Alexander Skarsgård and his wife, they go over and they're on this vacation. And it's in another country and they're having a good time. He's an author and he's got like writer's block, and all these different chain of events happen to where he accidentally hits somebody with a car. You see all this in the preview, so I'm not spoiling anything for you. So they end up running from the crime scene, ultimately get found out and caught by the cops, and in this country for doing something like that is punishable by execution, no questions asked. But there's one caveat. If you make a lot of money, you can buy your way out of this situation by creating a double that gets executed. And even in the movie, they're like, wait, what? Back up? A double? What are you talking about? But in this poor country, where the exchange rate for American currency is huge, they have this system to where they can clone people and create this double. They don't really explain how it's there, they don't explain why it's there, but that's what Cronenberg movies are like. And going into this knowing that, it's fine. I like that. And the cool thing is the entire movie feels this way. The entire movie has this big question mark of like, how does this stuff even exist and how are these people like just cool with it? But the thing is that when the clone gets made and it gets executed, you have to watch it. And so Alexander Skarsgård and his wife have to watch him getting executed. And this clone has the memories of the regular person and everything. It doesn't know it's a clone. So there's all these questions that start to come up. Is it the clone that's being executed? Or is it the real person that's being executed and the clone's being replaced? And I'm not gonna dive too deep into it as far as the way the characters start reacting and behaving over this, but it definitely starts testing what your temptations are as a person. And it's also a social commentary on sort of like that 1% and the rich can sort of get away with anything. And the more they get away with, the more they want to get away with. And in this movie, there's this group of people that he meets that they find out that, you know what, we can keep doing these crazy things, that these crimes that are slightly exhilarating, get arrested and just pay money to create a double. And it's sort of like this addiction they develop. Again, it's an extreme metaphor, but that's what this style of filmmaking does. That's what this style of filmmaking is all about, is just taking something that's a real issue in life, creating a metaphor for it, but then going to the extremes with the storytelling. And I like that, especially if it's unnerving, disturbing the whole time, horrific, and no real true resolve as far as happy endings are concerned. All the acting is fantastic in this. It's lots of disturbing imagery, just like David Cronenberg does, but it's not super focused on that. Really well done. There is gore and moments of shock in the movie, but it doesn't just dwell on it. It's more of like flashed into the scene throughout while it's occurring, and every time you see that image of something that's just really disturbing, it's just like, ah. But because of all that, it's really well done, and that's what I was going into this movie wanting, and it was shot really well on top of that. And then Mia Goth, oh my God, she's a goddess in my eyes. At this point, she's done X, Pearl, and this, and I know she's been in some other things, but just those 3 films so far, I mean, she's the modern day scream queen in my eyes. I love her. Mia Goth, you're a badass. This movie's kind of a mix between like Midsummer, The Island, and that old Brian Usna movie, Society, from the 90s. I don't know if you guys remember that. It's really jacked up, takes you into a crazy wormhole, but it makes you ask yourself a lot of questions, and it's a movie that will stick with you. I was very satisfied, exactly what I was wanting and a little more. For that reason, Infinity Pool is real fresh. Well, that'll do it for this from you guys. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button so you can help us make it to the top. And as always, if life gives you lemons, make some hot fresh popcorns.
Looks just like her.